Hello, I'm Hal Ottaway with the Wichita Postcard Club, and it's time once again for a postcard of the week. And this week, we're very excited and pleased to have one of our Wichita Club members and dealers, friend from Little Rock, Arkansas, Ashli Ahrens, and she's going to be telling us a little bit about her trip that she made with her husband to both England and to France, and some of the postcard discoveries that she made. We have lots going on right now with Olympic trials, and we know that the Olympics start soon. She'll know the date in Paris, France. And so, and postcards are involved. Thank goodness that once again. So let me just turn it over to Ashli and thank you for being here, Ashli, and telling us about your discoveries.
My pleasure, Hal. Thank you for having me. And I've got to give credit to our fellow Wichita Postcard Club member and friend Clarissa Freire, who is the one who suggested I ask you if maybe I could show off what I got for a postcard of the week. So I appreciate her coming up with that idea and for you accepting it. Yes, my husband and I did travel we went to England, went to London for a little bit, but then we were mostly in France in April of this year. And we did spend a few days in Paris. We were staying right near the Eiffel Tower and the whole plaza and everything that's around the Eiffel Tower. And it was obvious that the Olympics were coming because there was stadium and rafters and everything observation areas and all kinds of structures being built all around the Eiffel Tower where the games are going to be, one of the places the games are going to be. And then all around Paris, it was just construction zone everywhere. And they were literally polishing the statues and all the iconic areas of Paris, just getting ready for the influx of people. And then there were signs everywhere about, countdown to the Olympics. So there was Olympic fever everywhere. Therefore, it's a good opportunity to look for postcards. And so I did. And I happened to find some Olympic official, 2024 Paris Olympic postcards at the souvenir shop about a block or two off of where the Eiffel Tower is. And I'll give thanks again to Clarissa and also to another friend of the Wichita Postcard Club from England, Mark Routh. Those two in particular have opened my eyes more so to the appreciation of modern postcards and new postcards, because a lot of us in this postcard collecting realm do look back at the vintage and antique postcards, which I love. And honestly, until I got more involved in postcard clubs and meeting more postcard people, I didn't think much about new postcards and buying them or collecting them until just in recent years. So therefore, my radar and my antennas were up when I was walking through Paris and walking around seeing the souvenir shops, which thankfully still do carry modern postcards in Paris and in France. And sure enough, at one of these souvenir shops near the Eiffel, I saw a spinner rack that had some postcards that weren't the usual touristy site kind of new postcards. And then I realized that they were official Paris 2024 Olympic sanctioned postcards. So I thought, bet there might be some people who might be interested in buying some of those. And here I am in France, and I'm going to be going back home to Arkansas, and I have an eBay account. I sell on eBay. Think I'll take a chance and buy some of these and see if I can resell them. So that's what I did. And there were, I wish I'd have counted, but there were, I think, as many different designs of this series of Olympic postcards as there are Olympic events, which there are many. And so when I was standing there trying to decide, am I going to buy one of each? Am I going to buy two of each and try to sell them? My husband Kelly was nearby, and I was flipping through them, and I was grabbing one of each. And he's like, "Are you going to buy every one of them?" I'm like, "Well, I was thinking about it." And he said, he's not a postcard collector, but it's still good advice. He said, I think people might be most attracted to the views and the postcards that show some of the more iconic Paris landmarks in the design. And I'll show you in a minute how they incorporated Paris landmarks with the sport illustration. He said, I think you should stick to the ones that are more iconic, well-known scenes around Paris. I said, that's probably a good idea. So that's what I did. I did not buy one or two of every one of the designs, but I bought in total 72 postcards, and usually about two of each type of design. So anyway, I did buy them and got them back home and listed them on eBay, and happy that they have sold. I do have a few left. But one, I think my very favorite one is this one. And you see it says Paris 2024. And this is the Arc de Triomphe that is in Paris, and I love this because it has the fireworks. It's the only one, at least the ones that I only one that I bought that shows these wonderful fireworks. And if can you see the gymnast, the male gymnast is treating it like a pommel horse. See, they like put a pommel horse and the handles on top of it, which I thought was such a brilliant design of incorporating the the structure with the Olympic sport. I think it's so great. And then you can see it has the official Olympics. I don't know if you can see it symbol there on top of it there. So this is the general design of all of them. I've picked out two others that I love. Something I should mention is this is not only the Olympic Games, but the Paralympic Games too. And I don't think I'm going to show one right here, but I do have some that show some of the athletes who use wheelchairs were in some of the designs too. So I did buy some of those. This is Notre Dame before it burned. So you can see they're rebuilding it, and it's looking a lot better. But anyway, so this is Notre Dame, and they have the basketball player, like with the basketball goal being the spire. So you can see the basketball player there. So I thought that was a great design. And that's the back side of Notre Dame that I was showing. This is the front side of Notre Dame. And so in this design, they have a beach volleyball player, using the front of the church as the net holder, so I thought that was great. And the postcards are on very good quality paper, very stiff, and I have a little bit of you can see the gold foil there on the description. So I thought it was a really good design for who to think the French could come up with good design for something. And so they did a really good job with these postcards designs. So I picked those up, and it's been fun. To have them, and I'll say that I thought I would be doing a service to people in the United States who might want these, so that they wouldn't have to pay shipping from, ordering from someone in France, for example, who'd bought them and selling them on eBay. But turns out the most that I have sold have been from people in other countries. Not anybody in France, I guess, because they can get them. But I just shipped off a big order of one of every card that I had to a man in New Zealand who is an Olympic postcard and stamp collector, and I think ephemera collector generally of Olympic stuff. So he wanted some, and then my first order, I think, was somebody like in the Czech Republic bought several from me. And I have sent a few kind of individual onesies and twosies to people in the States, but more so the biggest quantity's been sent elsewhere. So that's been really interesting.
Great, great. You mentioned the stamps and or before when we were talking, and that
Right.
the post office department in France is one of the sponsors of the whole big weeks or so forth of
That's
the
right.
games. Yes.
That's right. La Poste is the name of their postal system. And yes, La Poste is one of the official Olympic sponsors. And like I said, saw signage all over the place for the Olympics, and a lot of them were on the mailbox drop boxes where you drop your mail out on the street. And some of them had like nice logos and official sponsor of the Olympic Games, it said in French, with them on it. And so, yes, they did issue and have issued official stamps. And so I bought a sheet of these when I was there. And I'm not a stamp collector, so I'm probably not going to, well, I'm not going to keep them. I have these for sale too, but it's a whole sheet, and you can see that you can see the gold foil on it. And it's an interesting design in that it incorporates this is part of the Eiffel Tower there. And then
Yes.
I guess this part here is like to indicate the Arc de Triomphe of the arch there. But to me, it looks like 1980s kind of colors with these pastels, pink and turquoise. It was a real interesting design, but these are the official Olympic stamps. And when I was in Paris and I was looking at that spinner rack trying to decide whether to buy these to resell, I looked on eBay to see if somebody was already doing that. And this relates to stamps. So there was a person that had gone to the first day of issue ceremony for the stamp release. And apparently these postcards that I have had already been available. So that person had bought some and went to the first day ceremony, got the stamp put on it, but put the stamp on the front side to make it a maxi card. And then had the official first day cancellation on it and was selling those cards. And I looked a few days later, they were gone. Those sold really quickly to postcard / stamp collectors for that reason. So that was a really smart opportunity that person took, and they sold those. But that's the only other instance of them being available on eBay, at least eBay US, that I could see.
Yes.
So I'm glad to have be able to give folks who couldn't be in Paris to pick them up like I did, to be able to get some if they want them. So.
Well, that's wonderful. We were talking earlier, and you mentioned that just a couple of dealers seem to have the official cards like you discovered and found. But I am just so enthused and happy to see postcards once again, new ones, and then going with an event like the Olympics be available. And
Exactly.
it just does my heart good, so to speak.
Well, same here, of course. I presume that it helps that their postal service is one of the sponsors, and
Yes.
they're not really listed. I mean, they didn't publish them. I'm looking at the publication information on the back, but it could be that having a postal element associated with the Olympics might have something to do with them being a sponsor. But I think there might have been some postcard or some kind of related mailing items available through the official Olympic store on the Olympic website. They weren't these last time I looked. But anyway, I hear what you're saying. Of course, it's
Yeah.
wonderful that there are event related postcards still being done in addition to the touristy ones, which are good. They're doing those too. But when I was talking about Clarissa and Mark earlier, and speaking of event related postcards, they have such an amazing collection, massive and well documented collection of the COVID postcards. And so we still have once in a lifetime events, or at least sometimes once in a lifetime, not very many in a lifetime events that happen. And so it is good when there are postcards that help document
Right,
them, because
right.
just like us, somebody 100 years from now, Lord willing, will be wanting to see those interesting postcards, just like we like to see the ones from 100 years ago.
That's exactly true.
Mhm.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ashley, for
Thank you.
suggesting this and for our friends that you mentioned too. It's good to be able to share and to see and learn information from others. And you're a club member and a club dealer and all of that. And we're happy to do that for you and anybody else who's a member of the Wichita Postcard Club that and has something that they want to tell about and to share with others. That's why we're here on the Postcard of the Week feature that we've been trying to do for several hundred times now. But we've been going for several years doing this, and we're just pleased to have you here today. And
Yeah.
well,
All
thank
right.
you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for letting me talk about these. And I'll just mention, since I'm doing a plug, these are available on my eBay store, which is called Mailbox Memories Postcards. But I
Yes.
think if you just search for 2024 Paris Olympic postcards, it'll just come up, the listings that I have. I have a few left. So
Okay.
thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Uh-huh.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Bye-bye.